When it's time for children to go to kindergarten, most families feel some stress and anxiety. As a parent who has a child with special needs or who requires extra supports to succeed, you may feel even more anxious about this transition and wonder what you can do to help your little one adjust to the change as easily and happily as possible. At Arkansas Support Network Community Parent Resource Center, we work to provide families with the information they need to feel confident in their ability to advocate for their children who have disabilities or special needs. We hope that this presentation will answer some of your questions and encourage you to continue learning as much as you can about the educational process so that you always have the tools you need to help your child succeed. Our Community Parent Resource Center and Family Support Program is a division of Arkansas Support Network. Our office is located at the Family Resource Center, or JTL shop, at 614 East Emma Street in Springdale, Suite 219. We share a resource library with several other agencies in our building. The books, videos, and other materials cover topics like special education, specific disabilities, working with children's behavior, and many more. Anyone can check them out for 1 month, and you're welcome to come by and browse. There's also training space in the library where we do face-to-face trainings with parents and professionals. In this training, we'll talk about services available in kindergarten, transition timeline for parents, qualifying for special education services, the individualized education program, behavior and sensory issues, health care plan, and parent involvement in school. This is an exciting time for your future kindergarten student, and it may be that you have older children and are already familiar with the school setting and routine. However, there are some additional things you can do to prepare yourself and your child with special needs for the work and fun that's ahead. If your child is developing at a different rate than other children of the same age and is receiving therapies or other help, you may wonder if he'll be ready in time for kindergarten. The public schools are required by the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, or IDEA, to provide all children, regardless of their disability, with a free and appropriate public education, so there will be services and supports for him. If he doesn't qualify for special education services, the school should still provide any assistance needed, such as extra academic help. A 504 plan, which we'll talk about a little bit later, might be needed for extra modifications, or a response to intervention plan may be developed if the school wants to decide if they should do further testing. Kindergarten is a time of observation and getting to know the students. If children do not enter school qualifying for special education services, schools are often hesitant to initiate special education testing until they've spent a long time working with the children. This does not mean that testing should not be done, but you may need to be very persistent if you feel strongly that an evaluation should be done. Counseling services can be helpful to children who are struggling with emotions or challenging behavior. Children who qualify for special education services in kindergarten might receive speech, occupational, or physical therapy, either directly with the therapist or indirectly with the therapist providing consult to the classroom teacher. If resource instruction is the best placement, a special education teacher might work with the children in a separate room to help with academic areas, or go into the regular classroom to give support during instruction there. A self-contained classroom will have a lower ratio of students to teachers, so that even more individual attention can be given to the students if that is the best placement for them. They should leave the self-contained room to attend regular inclusion classes with children in regular classes who are the same age. Counseling may also be recommended if needed. It helps to know what to do and when. So we're going to talk about the year before kindergarten starts, when your child is still in preschool or at home. If she's not going to preschool, you may need to do some looking to find people in the community who can give you the information you need. So let's talk about the year before kindergarten. In the fall, it's a good idea to talk with a preschool teacher and therapist about what your child is good at and what he still needs to work on. Make sure you know what goals they have written to help get him ready to go to school. Ask for activities to work on every week at home. If your child is at home during the day, you might go to the school closest to your home and ask for information about kindergarten readiness skills. Find out what staff member at the preschool or the local elementary school will be helping you with the transition meeting and paperwork in the spring. Ask if there is anything you need to be reading or doing to prepare in advance. Call an advocate if you're confused or need more information than what you're receiving at the preschool, or if your child is not in a preschool and you need more information and support. Studies show that one of the very best things you can do to prepare your preschool child for kindergarten is to read to her every day. After Christmas, if you don't know what school is nearest your home, ask the preschool teacher to help you find it. This is where you'll go for regular enrollment. All children have to enroll in the spring, whether or not they have a disability. If your child stays at home, you can go to the school to ask. You should be able to access your school district's website for additional information. The preschool should help to schedule a transition conference, and someone should be responsible for going with you. If your child will need significant modifications for accessibility or other needs, be sure to alert the preschool and school district as soon as possible so that they have plenty of time to look at the situation and take care of any changes that need to be made. If your child doesn't attend preschool, you can go to the school closest to your home and talk with the person responsible for the special education program. If you feel unequipped to handle the transition on your own, call an advocate to talk to you about your child's rights and to give you the information about the process. In the spring, it's important to do some organizing. This makes it easier to keep up with all of the preschool program forms, the paperwork that comes with kindergarten transition, and any documentation you receive in the coming years. Documents that are part of the special education program are legal forms and very important for your records. As you deal with school-related medical or therapy issues, these papers are your only written evidence of what has been done and said to help your child. You may need them later. A 3-ring binder works very well for all the current reports, goal sheets, and other working documents. You can carry it to conferences so that you have your child's information at your fingertips. A file box or cabinet at home can help you save records as time goes on. Filing documents by the year or grade can help you to find them later. Find out when to go enroll your child and in which school, and what immunizations are needed before school starts. Usually enrollment will be at the school closest to your home. Other arrangements will be made before school starts if your child's best placement will require him or her to go to a different school which has the services he needs. Make a list of your questions and concerns for the transition conference with the school. This is the time to talk with school personnel about your child's needs, especially any issues that you're worried about or that concern modifications, equipment, or accessibility in the new school. know which school your new kindergartner will be attending, ask for a tour so that you can both see what it looks like. This is especially important for children who have extra difficulty with changes. The following is a short video to give you some ideas. During the summer, visit the school if you can. Children who are stressed by changes need lots of opportunities to get used to new places and people. When you drive by on the way to other activities, talk to your child about positive experiences he'll have there and what to expect. If you don't know yet which school your child will attend, drive by different ones and talk about the possibilities. School playgrounds are considered public property, so families may take their children to play there. You can use them only after classes or on weekends. It's best to check with the school to know the schedule if you want to go during the week. The playgrounds are not open if there are after-school programs or ball teams using the equipment at the ball field. As your family enjoys the vacation time, incorporate practice of kindergarten readiness skills anytime you can. Your work on independent skills can include eating with utensils, toileting, dressing, fastening shoes, following directions, saying and writing her name. Giving children the chance to practice making choices, like what clothing they would like to wear, what they would like to eat, what activities they would like to be involved in, helps them feel more confident when the teacher asks them to make choices in the classroom. It's also important to talk to your child about the schedule and process for getting back and forth from home to school, so that she knows what to expect. Make sure you understand the transportation arrangements before the first day of classes, and continue to read together every day. In kindergarten, there are more teachers, more students, more classrooms, more buses and cars, more of everything. As you may already have observed, kindergarten classrooms are arranged for more time sitting and working on basic skills. Teachers typically have centers set up where students can focus on practicing reading, math, or language tasks. There's still time to play, but it's time for the children to begin to learn to be a little more independent. Before school starts in August, make sure you understand which school your child will be attending and call your contact person or the school where you enrolled if you haven't heard from them. Make sure the teacher understands what equipment and modifications your child needs to start successfully the first week. You can write a letter to the teacher with your child's photo and information that can be helpful. You might take it to the school office the week before classes start, or give it to the teacher the first day. You'll see a sample letter in the handout packet with this training. Depending on the district, the first day of kindergarten may be delayed 1 week after other students begin classes so that teachers can administer a screening assessment to help them understand more about what the new students know. The school should let you know if this is your district's policy. You and the school personnel are equal members of the team. Your participation is so very important because you are the expert when it comes to your child. And don't hesitate to ask for help. The school system and special education program can be confusing for anyone. Look for an educational advocate in your community to help you navigate the system. A good flow of communication and information between you and the school is the best way to keep things running smoothly as the school year begins. If you have concerns, for example, you feel your child is not eating enough at school, or you worry that diapers may not be changed often enough, you can ask the special education teacher to send home a daily sheet letting you know what happened in class each day. Be sure to also send notes or communicate what's going on at home if it may affect the school day. If you can't seem to communicate clearly with the school or continue to have a concern that's not being addressed, quickly ask for a special education conference so that your child's team can problem solve together and document in writing the plan for resolving the concern. At the beginning of the school year, ask the teacher to let you know if it's better to call, write a note to put in the backpack, email, or meet in person. Find out what he prefers and use that method so that his work with the students is not interrupted. So let's back up a little to talk about qualifying for special education services in the public schools. If your child is transitioning from a preschool program to kindergarten, there may already be a special education plan in place which will need to be reviewed by the school to see if other testing is needed. The transition conference in the spring will include a referral, and school personnel may recommend additional testing and observation to see what services will be the appropriate ones. A referral can be made any time during the school year or in the following years if the student does not qualify for services in kindergarten but later begins to struggle in school. A referral always includes asking parents or guardians for written consent to test. The school has up to 60 days to evaluate the student. Within 30 days after testing, the school has to let you know the results. If your child does not qualify, they should explain this clearly to you. If she does qualify, they'll show you a proposed written plan with goals called an Individualized Education Program, or IEP. This plan is your key for knowing the details of the special education program, and is developed individually for each student. At that same meeting, after the goals are discussed, the team, including you the parent, will talk about what class placement is best. The team should talk about your child's strengths and needs first and what goals are needed to help him learn. Only then should the group decide what class placement and services will be appropriate. The law requires that reasonable accommodations be made for any child who has a physical or mental impairment which limits one or more major life activities. If your child does not qualify for special education services but still has the need for services and supports to receive an equal, free, and appropriate public education, a 504 plan can be developed. This plan should help you and the school make sure the student has equal access to all areas of education at the school, just like other students who don't have these limitations. This is the first page of the IEP, or Individualized Education Program. It tells you things like how long the IEP will be current, how much time your child is in regular and special education classes, how much therapy he or she receives, and if special transportation will be provided. Just knowing some of your rights as a parent of a child with special needs in the public schools can help you to feel confidence in asking for what your new kindergarten student may need to succeed. At any time during the school year, you can request a meeting to make changes in the IEP. You should receive a notification in the mail inviting you to the conference. If you would like to take someone with you for support, you can request a date that accommodates the schedule of the person you want to invite. It's your right to ask for changes in the program, and the team or committee should discuss your concerns in a formal meeting. You may not be able to get everything that you request, but you can accomplish a lot just by persisting, asking questions, and understanding that you have the right to do so. Copies of all documents are a must for your home files. You want everything in writing so that there's always a paper trail throughout your child's school years. Make sure that your comments and concerns are written in the space provided on page 2 of the IEP, so that anyone who reads the IEP can be aware of them. You can bring a written statement about your concerns that can be attached to the IEP if you need more space. A trained mediator can help resolve issues between parents in the public schools. See your resources handout for the Arkansas Special Education Mediation Project website for more information. Filing a state complaint should be a measure reserved for the time when no agreement can be reached. You can get information about this process from the Department of Education website, sections on dispute resolution, as well as local advocacy agencies or the school district itself. This is the second page of the IEP. At the top, you can see the space where parent participation is recorded. You can ask to see this page before the meeting ends to make sure you're satisfied that your comments have been written accurately there. Inside the IEP, you'll find several pages with your child's goals. This is the work that the teachers and other personnel will be doing to help her learn. It's important that they are written so that you can understand them and can tell how they will be measured. This will help you to track progress during the year as they send home progress reports. Never feel you're inconveniencing the school if you want to bring someone with you to conferences. A friend, family member, other support person, or advocate can help you ask questions and remember what has been said in the meeting. There are usually teachers, therapists, and administrators at special education conferences. It may feel a little overwhelming under the friendliest of circumstances, and having someone you know at your side can give you extra confidence to express your opinions about your child's education. If you begin to receive frequent notes from school about your child's behavior, get as much information as you can about what is happening. Regular education teachers and administrators sometimes do not understand how to work with a child with special needs. You can ask the IEP team to meet and address your concerns quickly so that everyone can work together to help. It may be that it's time to develop a behavior plan to add to the IEP. Every child is different, and children who have developmental delays, autism, Down syndrome, cognitive delays, or other delays that affect learning often respond differently to standard forms of discipline. Let the teacher know what works for you at home, especially if techniques she uses are ones that don't work with your child. The teacher will usually be glad to have any information or suggestion from you that will help him through the first week and throughout the year. This is a team effort, and you know your child better than anyone. Ideas for motivating and rewarding, and also for reducing anxiety, will be welcome. Changes in the schedule that may cause extra stress may be similar to those experienced in preschool. Let the teacher know if any of these or other changes are especially distressing. There are all kinds of techniques that teachers can use to help children transition from the classroom to other areas of the school building or from activity to activity. A transition object like a stuffed animal or favorite toy carried to the next activity can help focus the child's attention and reduce anxiety. Some teachers use picture schedules to illustrate each step of the daily routine. Having a buddy to walk with might do the trick, or just a brief rest to calm nerves between tasks can help with the change. Talk to the teacher about options available in her classroom. Many children with developmental delays or disabilities have a hard time tolerating different kinds of sensory stimulation. Our five senses help us to take in the world and learn, but for some children the sensory information can be very stressful. They may experience sound, light, or texture in a way that is distressing to them. Other children may get very upset in a crowd of people or rock back and forth for long periods of time to calm themselves down. It's always a good idea to let the teacher know about any sensory issues your child may have, and especially what helps her to feel better and calmer. Breaks, physical activity, and sensory activities and objects can all be added to the routine throughout the day. Talk to the teacher about what's available in the classroom. Since the IEP is the legal document detailing the goals and program, you can ask that sensory activities and other supports be written into it. If it's in writing in the IEP, the school has a legal responsibility to follow through with it. On this slide and the next, you'll find some useful resources that you can depend on for quality and accuracy of information about educational, legal, and disability-specific topics. As our training is coming to a close, we wanted to briefly cover a few other topics. If your child is on a special diet, the school will make sure it's followed. They have a doctor's order detailing what's needed. Even with a plan in place by the nurse, it's important for you to pay close attention and talk with her as soon as possible if you have concerns. If If there are special healthcare needs, the nurse will be responsible for developing a healthcare plan that details exactly how the school personnel should help with that care. It may be that your child needs to receive tube feedings at school or to have diapers changed during the day. Some children have a seizure disorder and need a plan the teacher and personnel must follow if a seizure occurs at school or on the bus. Again, a doctor's order will be required. Always talk with a nurse or someone at school right away if you have concerns about how the health plan is being carried out. Know the school procedure for accidents, both minor ones and emergencies, and be ready to communicate with the teacher as soon as possible if you are not notified that your child has fallen, been hurt, bruised, or scratched, or had an accident. If you have questions or concerns about an incident, it's important to communicate as soon as possible and as calmly as possible with the school personnel so that you can get the most current and correct information about what happened. To close, we want to encourage you to be involved in volunteering at your child's school and to participate in activities and events as much as possible. It improves communication with teachers when they get to know their students' families and see parents' interest in supporting education. Young children feel a sense of importance when parents have lunch with them in the cafeteria or come to events at school. Children whose parents spend time at school tend to be more motivated to learn, and studies show that they're more likely to stay in school and graduate. Volunteering helps the teacher and school personnel to have much needed assistance and gives parents a perspective on what's going on at school. If teachers are able to get to know parents, it makes it easier to address concerns when they come up. Most young children are very excited to see their mom or dad at school, but some children may become distressed and be unable to focus on activities with parents there. It's important to talk with the teacher about how he would like to organize volunteer work so that it works for everyone. You are your child's best and strongest advocate. We hope that we've given you some useful information to help you make this transition to kindergarten a successful one. Please don't hesitate to contact us at Arkansas Support Network if you need further information or to speak with an educational advocate. Thank you.